Welcome, everyone, to the Cafe Society podcast. My name is Christian Zapata, here with your co host,
Joseph Jerez.
Here we talk about things that you would if you were in a cafe in Paris.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's how I'd like to break it down.
Yeah, we talk about life, liberty, and love. And what are we drinking today, man?
Today, we have on deck a barrel aged Sunshine and Opportunity. It's from Almanac Beer Co. Almanac, if you're listening to us, sponsor us. I really do enjoy this. We've already had a
we've already dove in on the
just one can. We had a can earlier.
No, this guys, no cap. This is actually a really fantastic beer. So the trouble that we normally have is when we go to a store to look for a beer of some sort, we find a lot of IPAs, and there's nothing wrong with IPAs, but sometimes you want a little something different. And we were looking for a sour. This was legit the only sour available in the entire store, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. So the Almanac Beer Company, Barrel Aged Sunshine and Opportunity, and this is a dry hop sour ale aged in oak barrels with pear juice. So again, give it a try. This has more of a tropical flavor and tropical notes to it, and it's Cafe Society approved. Let's say that.
For those that are interested, the hops have some Citra, Sabro, and Mosaic, and the malt is comprised of the Pilsner and wheat and oats.
That's it. Can we do a quick little cheers here, my friend? Bam.
That's what we do on this
Hell
podcast.
Yeah.
One day, some guest is gonna come and smash that glass and.
Oh, dude! And these glasses mean a lot to me. You know that. I had to.
There's always a story behind each and every one.
I know.
Like even the Rhode Island one. That's Marvin and I were in Newport, and we were just venturing about. And I've never even owned a beer cup until then. And I saw that just instant connection.
And
you like, I need to get that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly how I felt with these Japanese, or actually Chinese. These are Chinese beer glasses from a Chinese company called Master Gao, and they make a jasmine tea lager, which is delicious. And I found these glasses in a restaurant in Providence.
Do you remember the green tea shots on my wedding?
Damn, dude.
I was just gonna mention those were really good.
So good.
They were really
so
good. Do you know what the mix was? It was green tea, of course. But
the green tea shots are actually whiskey, ginger ale, and something else that I can't put my tongue on right now.
It has to be some kind of jasmine tea.
It's actually not. It has nothing to do with tea, from what I remember correctly.
I've been bamboozled.
You have. And they're delicious, though. They're the best way to consume a shot because you're getting the same alcohol content, but it's just, there's a time and a place for a straight up shot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've already had one too many straight up shots, and you're just like, can I please have a green tea shot? Something to, break down the taste.
Sometimes it just all gets in your mouth and it just sits there.
It's too much, yeah. But we had a pretty cool week. Something special that I would say passed this week, and that would be your birthday. I think that's a special day,
Without it, I wouldn't be here.
That's right, man. Shout out to Mama and Papa Zapata. You know what I'm saying?
So in a pandemic, right? I mean, there's not much to do, but Maria's coming by this week, and I thought, why not just hustle it out? Every task that I had left at work, it's not a type of job where it's like, every single day there's necessarily something to be done. It's more like there's a set of tasks in a given time span. If you complete those tasks before the time, the week is up, or 2 weeks, whatever it might be,
the end date,
you are in a favorable position.
You're
I
good
wasn't
to go.
in that kind of case. It's hard to keep focus in a pandemic, right? Like especially if you're working from home, you understand how hard it can be to just wake up, immediately go to the computer, start your day. 8 hours in, it's like time just flew by because you don't know what to do.
That's something that I would say, and this is something about you that I think is very admirable, is how persistent you are. I mean, you really spent your entire birthday just working, and I know it was obviously because you want to get that work done before Maria comes here, so that way you can spend that time and dedicate your time to your vacation. but it was still your birthday, and most people would have been like, dude, it's my day. I'm gonna spend it the way I want. They would have not necessarily party because it's COVID, but
yeah,
they would have spent the day chilling, having fun, talking to their family and friends. But you were like so determined. You're like, nah, I gotta get this done.
You know, I don't even remember anymore. Like I've recently, people tell me when my birthday is. I can't tell you when my birthday is.
Damn, dude, you're that famous? Oh my gosh.
Just like family
guys,
members.
he is that famous. People remind him when his birthday is.
Yeah, like I got an assistant or something.
Yeah, I think you do, man.
I
don't be so selfish.
Siri.
Put me on.
Actually, my calendar does tell
your
like,
calendar's your assistant.
Yeah,
that's right. But did you enjoy your birthday? Did you have like the opportunity? I know you were working, but did you have the opportunity to at least FaceTime your family and talk to them?
Yeah. They all called in. They all checked in. Maria, as busy as she was that day too, she had something going on and still managed to call, and that was huge for me.
That's perfect.
Mailed in a letter, and
she mailed you a letter.
Yeah, and the letter was just beautiful, man. It's the whole front cover was this couple kneeling in, and it was just such a nice sight.
That's really nice. Based. And I told you how I feel about. I think letters are so really like just so warm, you know, because they really took the time out to, instead of just sending you a text, you know, which is easy to do. It's so easy to just send a text
in a second.
In a second,
yeah.
You remember, oh shoot, it's this person's birthday, or even if you're like, I'm waiting for 12 o'clock to send that person that text message, but there's just something different about taking the time a week before to write out a thoughtful letter, send it to that person, and nowadays you have to go to the post office.
Yeah. Which is big now.
That's huge.
Before it was just,
that's guaranteed. Really nice, man. I'm happy that you had that.
I want to ask you two things. One, being on the flip side of, you mentioned 12 o'clock it hits and you're already thinking of that person. You're like, all right, let me see what they're up to. But have you ever been on the flip side where it's the next day and it's about to hit 12 the next day? You're like, oh man, I got to hit them up before
it's not their birthday.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have.
Yeah.
I have been on that side, and it's all innocent. It's not because like
there was something going on that day.
Yeah, like time passes and things happen throughout the day and you kind of forget, shoot, it's so and so's birthday. Let me just and they mean a lot to you regardless, but it slips your mind and it's all right. It happens to all of us.
To the best of us.
And ladies, do not forget your significant other's birthday ever. That's a problem. I'm talking about a friend. You know what I mean? That's one thing, but to forget your significant other's birthday, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Now you got a problem.
Yeah. That's not good.
It's not at all.
The other thing is something we're going to have to get back to. But for now, we'll have to talk about the reflections on this year. I've been thinking a lot. This year has been insane.
It has.
But it's also been mind-blowingly changing, life-changing, I'd even say.
I would agree, man. I mean, I think it's fair to say that we've all gone through some crazy disruptions in our life.
Yeah.
We've all been displaced somehow, and I was reading this article, or a slideshow, you should say, would be based on like business trends, and it just talks about displacement, and it talks about how how businesses are going to have to adjust, and we've all been displaced somehow, whether you're working from an office, now you're working from home, you're going to a yoga class, now you're going to a yoga
online session,
video class, and you're working out from home. Instead of sending your kids to school, now you have to be a part of that education process for them, and you have to be more involved. And I think it helps us in multiple ways, but I also think it negatively impacts us in certain ways, right? I think like the basics that are more obvious would be like social interaction and those things that
the
are
whole
really important.
The whole, what is it, the coffee talk, like the talk by the coffee machine or whatever they might say, that's a huge thing.
Like talking about the water fountain.
Whatever it might be in your office, wherever some people take kombucha, I don't know.
Whoa, that must be like a Google or Facebook office or something, bro. Got kombucha coming out of a fountain. Damn.
We used to have the company used to have an office in downtown Boston, and they would do they'd have, like you'd pour in your beer from
beer on tap.
Yeah, they'd have beer on tap from what's the barrel?
A keg. They had
yeah.
keg on tap. Damn.
Yeah, and
at your office.
Yeah, but it was because it's a WeWork, right? So
I take back everything I said. Kids, go to school, get that education, and you can one day get an assistant, an office with a keg on tap. This dude, I mean,
you could also
he was living the life,
guys. Or you don't go to school. You can buy a keg, leave it at home, and then
make that money at home. And have your keg whenever you want.
Yeah, open that up on tap. And
that's right.
Set up your Siri reminders. By the way, I did no such thing. But, yeah. No. But talking about the digital aspect of this, right? Where I know you especially, you thrive off of that interpersonal communication.
I do.
But we recently watched this movie. It's called Her, right? Starring Joaquin Phoenix. And
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin. And so if you haven't watched it, the whole premise is he gets into this relationship with this new product which comes out, which is essentially this operating system for your computer, which is super intelligent, hyper intelligent.
Yeah, hyper intelligent AI.
Yeah.
Assistant.
And if you're a fan, I think it was Scarlett Johansson is her name. She acted as the.
She was the voice.
System. Yeah, she was the voice.
Man.
But basically, he's you see Joaquin and you see him walking around and he's just talking out loud and you hear back Scarlett's voice.
Man, it's such an interesting idea, right? Because he carries around this little square
phone, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it's like a microphone and it has a camera on there, and that's how the operating system can view everything and analyze real life, because she can analyze easily the technical stuff that she's downloaded into, like his computer and his phone, but the real life things, right? She needs some kind of hardware, and he just carries that around everywhere with him. But she learns and adapts and starts to build a conscious and emotions, right? And it was a really, I mean, especially with the weekend that we had at that time where we were playing with VR, and I was like, this
very
is
tech heavy.
It was a very tech heavy weekend, and I was like, man, this is all hitting very close right now. This is kind of weird. Like,
I thought it was an interesting perspective to bring in with the kind of work from home, with the super digitization of every kind of action. You think about like assets, right? And back in the day, a kid used to have like a baseball and a bat. Now they have some gun on Fortnite and V-Bucks or whatever it is.
Yeah,
right?
No, they things are very different.
Yeah, and I don't know about the whole conversation of dating, some technical thing, right? That's a whole other concept. But just even the idea of like interacting with others purely just on the internet, right?
That's what we've turned into in a way. But I think my reflection of 2020, right, is like, because of the things that took place and how we've had to shift strictly to digital, it's been very influential, like, in how we're going to proceed in the future, because this is really what's important. Because if you were able to capitalize on this pandemic, right, because a lot of people I know a lot of people found a lot of hardship financially and emotionally because of the pandemic, but on the flip side, a large population were able to succeed in whether...
Would you say a small population was able to extremely succeed?
Yes, I 100% would say that.
Yeah.
And if you were able to be one of those people, on the positive note of the pandemic, to be able to find some financial success, right? I think this leaves you with a blueprint for the future, right? Because if you can find financial freedom
in the worst of times, what does that mean about when things are normal? You're going to be able to do this again and again and again, right? And not have to worry about a physical location. And I think that's what, I was reading this, I was scrolling through pretty much social media, and this quote popped up, and it was like, in the past, right, financial success was a Benz and a house. Now it's about freedom. It's about financial freedom
and location freedom. If I can be anywhere and make money, then I'm winning. You know?
Don't you think it's still for a different type of person? It's still like the Benz.
The Benz in the house, of course. And I think those things are cool, right? Like there's nothing wrong with a Benz in a house, but I think if you're tied to that Benz and to that house because of a physical location, that's great. You still have the Benz and you still have the house, but you're relying on a physical place. You have to be there to make that money. Where if you can find a way to make money no matter where you are, have that Benz here in California or in Dubai, wherever you want it. You know what I mean? That's it's a different level of success, and I think it speaks more to our spiritual sides, where like the thing that we've always wanted, which is to live our lives the way that we want to. But I don't know. I think 2020 has been a very interesting year. All I know is that I've learned a lot. We've taken some massive risks this year, and I've made some money, so I can't complain, right? And I'm just looking forward to 2021 to take the things that we've been putting into practice and really kick it up a notch even more in 2021.
So what I understood is that you're paying rent this month.
I got you, dog. Yeah. Don't even stress it. Look, but you know, if I have a lot of people coming in and out of the house, you just can't question things.
Son, that's not freedom.
Huh?
What?
Yeah. I know, but you want me to pay the bills, dude. Like, I gotta make it happen.
What if I get you beers next weekend?
You get me beers next weekend? Dude, I'll pay the bills.
Let's go, son.
Totally
Let's go.
Worth it.
That's it.
No,
that's
but on a serious note, like what are your reflections of 2020?
I'm incredibly grateful because amongst all odds, I was still able to get married this year, and it's something that we behind the scenes, it was a struggle. Like we fought hard for that. We called many people, been on all different types of conversations, and all types of arrangements were made. Trips were canceled left and right. Flights. I felt like a travel agent almost, right? And I'm just so grateful because it happened, and we both had the will to push forward and make that happen and find ways around and try to be safe while that happened as well, right? Yeah. Amongst all things considered, right? Traveling is extremely dangerous right now, but we were able to do it in a safe way, and I'm really glad about that. Top of that, you know what I do for work and how much I push for that. I would say it's a successful year. If we look at the metrics, right, we were almost 200% more successful than we were in the first year of the company. And this being a new product, this being the first year of the new product, right? So I look at that. I look at personally how I mentally think about things, how I'm able to present myself. I've noticed I'll have conversations with people in my space, and
good.
Just what comes out of that. It's a lot more confident, right?
That's incredible, man. Yeah. And let's just put a quick note here. His wedding in the middle of a pandemic was still freaking awesome. I mean, we had a great time. It was just, you had a very small wedding. It was just your immediate friends.
You have no idea how small. There are people probably listening who should have attended,
and they're like, damn.
and listen, if you have that feeling like man, like, really, like, no invite, we my wife and I had like a whole week's, well, we've talked for a couple of months about like who comes here, who comes there, and then things shift. Now we have to shift our plans that's even before invites were sent out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and very few that did get sent out. And it was a tough decision, man. Like, how do you pick between your close friends?
All that matters is that you guys got fucking lit, and it was incredible. And then you don't even remember your own first dance on the wedding, which is...
No, I don't remember the song.
All right, that's true. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Let me correct myself. You don't remember the song, which was "Let's Get Married" by Jagged Edge.
But who played that? Was it like a request, or was it?
Honestly, man, I think they just played it at the restaurant, and you guys just danced.
And do you recall like if I just took her hand and we just walked up and started dancing, or
Now you're asking too many specific details that, my friend, I cannot remember. Okay.
So you're coming at me for not knowing
No, I'm
this
not
stuff.
coming at you. I'm showing you some praise, man, because that's a important day, and it's a great time to get lit, which you did, because we kept sending shots to the table. You know,
Wait,
the vibes.
hold on though. I need to make it clear, Maria, if you're listening, I 100% remember the dance itself. I remember like our conversation, what we said when we were dancing. I just don't remember the song.
Okay, which to me was a little crazy, because that's my vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the era of music that I love. So when you didn't even know the song, I was like,
but in context, though,
I was like,
if you think
dog.
about it, I'm literally talking to the person who I just bound my life to for the rest of my life, and this is a moment where
the song,
I actually can verify that I do remember when we're in that moment, that a few seconds after that I was like kind of out of just surrounded by her energy and whatnot. I heard like these chimes, and I'm like, wait, there's a song in the background. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting, right? But that all fades away.
I can imagine, man. That's incredible, though. I'm glad you had a fantastic 2020, and you were able to, tie the knot with your wife, who's gonna be coming here very shortly. I'm sure you're very excited. You've been waiting for this moment for a while for her to be here. Yeah, you worked your ass off to make sure you had everything done beforehand, so that way you can just dedicate that time when she gets here. So I think that's really great. But my question for you would be, you had a great 2020. How are you going to continue that into the new year? Like, what are you looking for into 2021 to keep having a productive year and to keep growing?
I think it's about being honest with yourself. I think it's looking back and reflecting, and not reflecting in a way where you just think for 2 seconds about your last year and you say, okay, that, like, what's my feelings on that? Was it positive? Was it negative?
Sure.
Let's move forward. It's literally trying to break off every quarter, as I might look at it. However, whatever good way is for you to break down a year. And if you don't know, a quarter is 3 months out of the year. They use it a lot in
usually
world.
Most companies start their quarter January, right? That would be Q1 for them. But you can also have a fiscal year, which would start whenever you decide that you want it to start, which for most companies, if they do have a fiscal year, is when they launch their hero product. So for example, Apple's fiscal year starts in September, right?
When the iPhone
usually comes out. Yeah.
So my point is, taking a look throughout each segment of time, and actually taking the time to analyze that and thinking about what you did, and really being honest with yourself and saying, did I do a good job in that time span? What changed from this month to this month? And just taking that all in. Mm-hmm. And then you get a realization, okay, I react well to this, I don't react well to that. Getting to know yourself in that way, so that when you come into the first month of the next year, you're not just, if you say something like, oh, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to go to the gym every single day, as these New Year
most resolutions sound like, I'm gonna be a millionaire this year. I'm gonna go to the gym every single day, and I'm gonna get jacked.
Yeah, that's not specific enough. You gotta first off, if you didn't go to the gym all of December, pre-pandemic, right? Of course. What makes you think you're gonna go
every single day? It's right? Not realistic. It's possible, but it's not realistic. Yeah. And I think you're heading towards the right track here, setting realistic goals that are based off of, your past trends, and just constantly adjusting.
I'd much rather actually hit 100% of my goals, if even if they were a little low reaching, than
missing. Than missing
all of them
100%,
because they were so high, right?
It's like, I'm gonna make $20 million in 2021.
But let's be clear though, it's not. It's also not to say like, so you're telling me to just reach low. Not at all. You can say this year I'm gonna make a million or 20 million, whatever it is. But you need to be able to say, if I want to make 20 million a year, I need to break that down by 52 weeks. How much I'm going to make in the first week. If I didn't hit that mark, you're already off.
Yeah.
And
If you're not even, and you got to look at really like, look at December too, right? If your trends in December for whatever your goals are, whether it's to go to the gym or if it's to make $2 million, right? If your trends in December are not even close to that, then be realistic and and go for a goal that's attainable, right? If you're not doing $20,000 a month in December, you know, or in 2020, if you're not doing $20,000 a month, then what makes you think you're going to do 100K a month in 2021? You know what I mean? So just be realistic and set goals that are attainable, because we've seen in the past through other entrepreneurs that that's a better way to hit your ultimate goal. If your goal is to have a $20 million net worth, don't think to make $20 million in 1 month.
Yeah.
You know, or in 1 year. Think to hit, okay, I got to hit 15K this month, so that way eventually I can hit my $20 million mark.
Yeah. And, you know, on the top, like if we're talking about making money, for it could be, you know, cutting weight, or it could be gaining weight, whatever it is in that case. But it's incremental, right? So if you are accustomed to, say, cutting 2 pounds in 1 month, right? And if you do what I told you and say you want to say, oh, I'm going to cut 15 this year, you know, so maybe less than a pound or whatever it is a little over a pound per month, right?
Sure.
And you already missed that mark on the first month. You know, it's good to have that stretch goal. It's good to say, like, yeah, I want to hit 2 pounds, but notice how I said 2 instead of 5 or 10, right? It's what you said compared to the last one. But then it can be incremental, because like making money, or like, say, cutting weight, with your body, right? You're training your body to either lose or gain at a specific rate, and at some point it gets used to these kinds of different things. Same thing with how you know how to make money, your knowledge of making money. You know how to make 10K now. Okay, it's not that far off to learn how to make 12K off of the 10, right? And then maybe by the end of the year, you're actually hitting that stretch goal. You're getting closer to 20 million, because in 1 month you've made 50 instead of 10, right? So it's all incremental, but you have to build off.
Have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. So I think it sounds like you're doing a lot of reflecting to set yourself with the right goals for 2021. Now, do you have any specific goals that you want to hit, like that you can talk about right now? And if not, that's okay. But if so, and you're comfortable sharing, I think some people would be interested in knowing.
I think for sure to pay off the loans. I think we've had this conversation internally. What I owe to a loan servicer or loan provider, right?
Sure.
To college, whatever. That's not my money, right? If I have a check that comes in next month, that's not my money, right?
And not until you pay off that loan.
Not until I pay off that loan.
Yeah.
And so not to say that I want to pay it all off in 1 year. Once again, that would be something that it's unrealistic. But I already have set a multi-year plan for myself. I know how much I need to pay per month in order to reach that. So I know how much I need to make per month.
Yep.
Right. I know some of our listeners actually are reading the 4-Hour Work Week. If you do take up that book, there is a way to track your goals in there. It's called the Dreamlining. You plan out 6 months, because the author's logic is, if you do like 5 years or 10 years, it's just, you know, that stuff changes, right? That stuff can change in 6 months. I mean, we were looking at New York, right? We could have.
I love when you use that example when you talk about the 4-Hour Work Week.
Like, our goal for us is to have a rooftop in overlooking Madison Square, right?
In 2 years.
Like that.
But
that's obviously not going to happen if we're in
2
LA.
months later, here we are in Los Angeles, right? And the whole plan changed. It entirely changed. And I love when you use that example, because it's so relatable for a lot of people. You know, don't always plan for such a long-term thing. You need to have short-term goals, because it allows you to keep everything in a certain time frame. What's in the realm of possibility to change, you know? Yeah.
Well, I think we're cutting off the time here for our visuals. So what I will say is, let us know if you're trying any of these drinks. We do want to be inclusive here and give you as much information as you can so that you try it out with us. And I'd love to see if you send us some pics and whatnot and try out some of the different drinks.
Have a beer, have a drink with us. But before we close out, I do want to say, in the background, guys, we are working diligently on trying to find the right product that really fits the Cafe Society community and what we represent. So be attentive to that. It should be, something that we are hoping to release in Q1 of this coming year. But, until then, I hope you guys are able to find some way to share special moments these holidays with your family and friends. Use the technology that we have around us to reach out to them and to spend some time with them and play games, whatever it may be. But, happy holidays from Cafe Society to you and yours. And I hope you guys are safe. Until then, we will see you guys next year. And we're going to keep hitting these goals, and we're going to keep doing this together. So be safe, guys. Love y'all. Cheers.